Did you know that Europe is half the size of the United States? Europe being just under 4.5 million square kilometers, while the United States is under 10 million square kilometers. When it comes to population, though, it's a different story. Europe has a population of over 450 million. The United States, only 330 million. Now, those numbers matter when it comes to understanding culture. In particular, how cultured people may appear to be. You see, one thing I noticed traveling throughout Europe as an American is that these guys go from country to country like we go from state to state. And each country not only had its own language or multiple languages, but it also had its own culture and ethnic identity. The United States, on the other hand, well, we've got a lot of diversity, but our diversity seems to be a lot more blended, a lot more mixed into a general culture. And even though in many parts of this country you can get away with only speaking a foreign language, the majority of us are united in our speaking of English. So what does this have to do with style and American men being uncultured? Well, the reality is an American can travel thousands of miles, travel to and explore areas very different than where he's from, at least geographically and to a degree culturally, and on top of that, conveniently speak their native tongue and even be able to find refuge in a Starbucks. Compare that to the options of the average European. Let's take a German that travels over to Spain. He didn't cover but 1,000 miles. All of a sudden, he's got to not only speak another language, but he's got a huge cultural difference he's got to figure out. You got a guy from Portugal traveling over to Sweden or Finland. Is native Portuguese over there? Good luck with that. In this case, since he probably doesn't speak the local language, he's defaulting to a common universal language, which in this case is most likely English. In any case, these travelers are very aware they are not in their home country. As such, they're much more in tune to the local customs. And as it has been this way their entire lives, they view this as normal. In today's video, gents, I'm going to share with you the common style mistakes that American men make that make them recognizable around the world. So first up on this list, the complete lack of awareness of unspoken dress codes. Now, it's not that us Americans are looking to offend anybody. It's just we come from a culture that written dress codes are pretty much despised. Seriously, most Americans don't like being told what to do. But the funny part about this is that pretty much every situation in life has a dress code, even if it's unwritten. Don't believe me? Then show up to the beach in a suit. I mean, a suit's a suit, right? And there is no dress code, but there is, because functionality, a three-piece suit is very different than a bathing suit. All right, that one was obvious. Well, let's take work. Work doesn't have a dress code, but does it? Because you can't show up naked. You can't show up dressed like Spider-Man. I mean, you could do these things, but you'd probably be escorted out of the building or at least kicked off the Zoom call. The point is, people usually dress a certain way for both the functionality and to give a certain type of feeling to the situation they're attending. In many parts of the world, this structure is much more rigid than it is in the United States. Because in the United States, let's face it, as long as you can pay the bill, you can dress pretty much however you want when you're going out. In other parts of the world, especially at fine dining facilities in the evening, let's just say there's an unspoken expectation that you will dress well. Now, really quick, gents, if you're looking to step up your style, if you want to build a more versatile wardrobe, you need to check out today's sponsor, Collars & Co. Now, gents, I've been working with Collars & Co. now for years because I love what these guys do. They saw a problem with dress shirts, especially when you're wanting to layer them. They're hot, they're sweaty, they're uncomfortable. So what did these guys do? They created a shirt that gives you the look of a dress shirt, but fit and feels like a performance polo. These dress collar polos work great when you wear them by themselves, when you decide to layer them with a sweater, with a sports jacket, with a suit. Now, the shirt I'm wearing right here is a dress collared polo that is short sleeve, has a four-way stretch. It has a structured 4-button placket in the front and a collar that stays up and looks great. On top of that, these shirts are wrinkle resistant. So if you're a traveler, you want a shirt you can pull right out of your suitcase and put on and look good, gents, you are going to find it over at Collars & Co. Now, when you go over to their website, you're going to see they got 4 different types of collars. They've got the English spread collar, the semi-spread collar, the cutaway collar, and the Oxford button-down collar. And one of my personal favorite parts of this company is their story. So Mark Cuban saw them on Shark Tank and invested $1 million into this business. And if you follow him, you look at him in the news, he wears their shirts. I know for me as an entrepreneur myself, I look at what these guys are doing. They saw a problem and they are solving it. That being said, if you're looking for a long sleeve, something in the line of a more traditional dress shirt, or some great zip sweaters to wear on top of your Collars & Co. shirt, choose from quarter zip, pullovers, crew necks, and V-necks. They're super versatile, reasonably priced, and I love how you can wear them for most of the year. Well, gents, then get over to the Collars & Co. website and look at all the options, including outerwear. I'm linking to Collars & Co. down in the description of today's video with the best deal you're going to find on the web. Go over to Collars & Co. That's collarsandco.com/RMRS and use that code. I'm going to put it down there RMRS to make sure you get the best deal on the web. Awesome company. I've worked with them for years. I love what these guys are doing, solving a real problem with an innovative product. Now, the next mistake I want to highlight is probably one of the easiest ways to spot an American abroad. Because the other mistakes I'm going to get to here in a few minutes, they're a little bit more obvious. This one is harder for Americans to hide. And that's simply because we have a love affair with these type of items. Gents, what am I talking about? Our love as Americans for ultra casual shoes. Now, when it comes to running shoes, when it comes to flip-flops, when it comes to hiking boots, there is a time and place for all of those. Crocs, on the other hand, I really can't defend. I mean, I've heard a boater say that they float apparently in the water, so I guess they're a life-saving device. But no, seriously, if you're going out hiking, wear hiking boots. If you are headed out to the beach, you're going to go to the pool, then I think flip-flops are appropriate. Running shoes. I'm a runner. I wear them when I go out and jog, run, even maybe hit to the gym sometimes. But when it comes to day-to-day wear, gents, there are better options. Now, I get it. Us Americans, we prize comfort. Hence why these shoes are so popular, especially for an American living abroad or traveling. And if you're in Rome for 2 days and have a wife like me that wants to see everything that city has to offer, and you're going to be walking 25 miles a day, then all means ignore this advice and you wear what is comfortable on those feet. But no, in this video, I'm talking to the American that's working abroad. I'm talking to the American back home who is still wearing his running shoes despite staying at home when there are so many better options out there for casual footwear that's going to step up your style and just really improve your overall look. Because here's the deal. Your shoes are the foundation of your outfit. They're an area on the body when people look you up and down, their eyes stop there for a little bit longer and people judge based off shoes. Is that right? Is that wrong? I'm not here to argue that point. I'm just here to point out what people actually do so that you understand that and then can use it to your advantage. Now, this next mistake just screams, you don't take care of nice things, you don't pay attention to the details. And the crazy thing is, it's so obvious, yet I see this mistake again and again. What am I talking about, gents? Not cleaning up your shoes, not polishing your dress shoes, not making sure your white shoes aren't covered with scuff marks. Yeah, because this applies to casual sneakers, it applies to your dress shoes, it applies to every shoe in between. Now, shoes are meant to be worn. They're meant to get scuffed up. They're meant to get marked up. But shoes aren't meant to maintain a history of the abuse that you put them through. No, you want to clean them up. You want shoes that you can quickly polish up, get rid of those scuffs to the best of your ability that you can actually go through and clean up. Now, 2 quick tips to staying up on this. 1, have a box, a shoe shine box, where you keep everything you need for your sneakers, for your shoes, so that you can quickly find it when you need it. The next tip is to clean up your shoes after you wear them, not right before you need them. Because as you're running out the door, this is probably the reason most men don't take care of their footwear. They don't think they have time for it. So make a habit after you wear the shoes to brush them off, to clean them off. So moving on from footwear, let's talk about another accessory that if you are in a room with 100 men around the world, you're pretty much going to spot the Americans. How? Because we love our baseball caps. Now, I get it. I'm just like a lot of you guys. I am a busy dad. Sometimes I'm running out the door. I don't have time to brush my hair. So I grab a baseball cap, throw it on my head, and that's going to get me through the morning. Other times it's bright outside. I want to be able to protect my eyes. And for some of you guys that have lost a bit of your hair, you wear a cap to be able to protect the top of your head. But here's the deal. Even if you spend a couple $100s on a quiet luxury cap that's made by some fancy designer, the reality is the baseball cap is a very casual accessory. It really isn't appropriate headwear in a situation in which you want to have a more stylistic look. Now, right with the overuse of the baseball cap, we've got the overuse of wraparound sunglasses. Now, these glasses have an appropriate use if you're going to be on the job site, if you're going to be out fishing, if you are riding a bike. It makes sense to wear a pair of glasses like this. But if you're out exploring Greece, if you're making your way through Barcelona, and yes, it is a sunny, hot day, maybe look to a pair of inexpensive aviators or wayfarers, and maybe on top of your head a straw fedora or a Panama. And you don't have to go expensive here. Maybe just pick up at the local department store. Because the goal here is for you to blend in a little bit. Look a little bit less like a tourist, less like a pickpocket target. A few other items that scream, I'm an American: cargo shorts. And double that if they are camouflage cargo shorts. Again, nothing against cargo shorts. I wear them when I go to Disneyland because I can put tons of things in my pockets. But unless you're at Disneyland Paris, you may want to consider pulling back on the cargo shorts. Again, I think Americans, we over-rely on this staple, especially if you're from California. Cargo shorts and sandals, you'll wear everywhere. For those of you guys from the Northwest United States, I'm not forgetting about you, the fleece jacket. I mean, you've got all types of fleece. pullovers, jackets, and you wear them with everything, with your work clothing, you wear them with casual clothing, you wear them with shorts. Hey, I've worn them with shorts. I get why that combination works, but understand, wearing that combination, yes, it's easy, but it screams, I'm an American, which again, isn't a bad thing. But you know, you're traveling over in Europe, you see these guys wearing USA shirts. And of course, they're from USA. I sometimes wonder if we wear these shirts as Americans because if we get lost, they know where to return us. That seems like a logical reason, right? Now, of course, everything I'm talking about here is not 100% Americans. I'm sure some of you guys in other parts of the world will let me know in the comments. No, I see this in my country as well. What about jerseys? Wearing a jersey for support, that's awesome, but wearing it outside of that. Again, in the United States, it's very common for people just, especially in Southern Cal, people just to wear jerseys everywhere. But correct me if I'm wrong, this isn't common in most countries outside the US, maybe Canada, maybe down in Mexico, because, you know, we've infiltrated there. But I noticed in Europe, people just don't wear jerseys the way that we wear them in the United States. It's just viewed as way too casual, especially when that jersey doesn't even cover the shoulders. Now, gents, if you enjoyed this video, you are going to love this one. In this one, I talk specifically on the history and the social dynamics of why American men aren't stylish. And it's actually a good reason why most of us don't care that much about style. Check it out, guys. It's a great video. People are loving it, and I'm sure you'll like it as well. Boom, right here. Go check it out.